You ready? I want to make sure you're ready because you're like. We'll call the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Carter?
Here.
Huffman?
Here.
McGuire?
Here.
Ortega?
Aye.
Reinhardt?
Here.
Redmond? Here. McDonough?
Here. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Morning.
First item is to approve the agenda for December 18th.
Move approval.
Yeah, motion and a second. Roll call.
Huffman?
Aye.
McGuire?
Aye.
Ortega?
Aye.
Reinhardt?
Aye.
Redmond? Yes. Carter?
Yes.
McDonough?
Aye. Next item is approving the minutes from December 11th, please.
Move approval.
Second.
Any corrections? Roll call.
Huffman?
Aye.
McGuire?
Aye.
Ortega?
Aye.
Reinhardt?
Aye.
Redmond? Yes. Carter?
Yes.
McDonough?
Aye. All right. Our first item here is holding a public hearing on the Ramsey County 2040 Draft Comprehensive Plan Update. And so I will declare the public hearing open. We have not had anybody sign up to speak, and I will put a call out if there's anybody in the audience to speak on our Ramsey County 2040 Draft Comprehensive Plan Update. Second call, anybody here to speak on our Ramsey County 2040 Draft Comprehensive Plan Update? Third call, anyone here to speak on our 2040 Draft Comprehensive Plan Update? Declare the public hearing closed. Our next item is an award proclamation. Commissioner McGuire.
Yay.
And Nick Riley.
And Nick Riley, please come forward. It is with bittersweet emotions that I will make a few remarks on the retirement of our dear colleague Nick Riley, who has been in our government relations department for many years, and we're really going to miss you, and we're just grateful for all that you've done, and wish you well in your retirement. But I have a few remarks that I'd like to make before we send you on your way. Well, these are all good. Nick is going to be retiring at the end of this year, and so we're very sad about that, but happy for him. So on behalf of the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners, I want to recognize you, Nick, for your 23 years of service as our government relations person representing the interests of Ramsey County and all of our citizens. You were working, Nick, for the Association of Minnesota Counties in 1995 when we began our recruitment to steal you away from the AMC, and I know that Commissioner Ortega was one of those that was working hard to get you to come and work for us, and we are so grateful that you made that move to Ramsey County. So we are truly thankful to AMC for training you and sending you our way. Your legislative work has focused primarily on bonding issues and transportation. Recently, you were instrumental in securing funding for Union Depot, Light Rail, the Green Line, and for the 694 Rice Street interchange. And we know that you've spent countless hours at the Capitol doing all of this work. You have worked tirelessly to secure funding for our county transportation, parks, and library projects, and we are forever grateful. You came to the Twin Cities when you took a job with the Perpich administration as Deputy Director of Government Relations. You were born and raised in Bewabic, Minnesota, where you maintain your roots, true Ranger. In high school, you were on the football and swim teams, and you pole vaulted as a member of the track team. That's how you were able to leap through the many challenges that were ahead of you at the Capitol. Now we know why you're so nimble. That's exactly why. Nick, you earned your undergraduate degree from the University of Minnesota in Duluth in arts education and a master's in industrial safety and hygiene, now referred to as a safety engineer, and we're grateful for that. You worked for the mines and the Iron Range and in construction before you moved to the Twin Cities. You built your family's cabin in Bewabic, and one of your many friends who has spent time at the cabin characterizes this as a beautiful paradise in the midst of the northern forest. I know you spend a lot of time there, and that's great. And that's maybe your family's cabin. Hunting with your son and good friends is one of your passions, and you are one of the founders of the Capital chapter of Ducks Unlimited. It's probably where I first met you, was at a Ducks Unlimited meeting. Hunting and an appreciation of Minnesota's resources drew together a cadre of legislators, lobbyists, and staff, provides a unique platform for your many relationships at the Capitol. Relationships have always been at the center of your work as a lobbyist. You always worked hard, but with a soft touch, by engaging others, appealing to their interests to contribute to the state, your constituents, and the general good of all. In the middle of winter, with a foot of snow on the ground, you got legislators excited about the economic development and educational and social benefits of the winter recreation area. This takes a special talent and patience. We know you have great patience. Another one of your passions is creating beautiful works of art, many of which decorate your cabin, home, and your county office. And of course, I think most of us know that you won a Citizens Award at the State Fair. So I always look for your work at the State Fair Art Exhibit. Those who worked with you, Nick, on a regular basis will tell you that you are a true team player. You show up early, you dig in, you stay until the job is done. Most amazingly, you don't carry a briefcase, which I, of course, carry a lot of papers. You know the facts about the county again. You know our issues, and you can recite them off the top of your head. And many of the legislators will say that they always look forward to you being in their office. Whether they agree with us or not, they like to talk to you. You are insightful, considerate, and engaged. You have an uncanny ability to size up a political situation and come up with solutions to meet each challenge. Those of us who are fortunate enough to know you can clearly see that at the center of your life is your family, your wife and your children, and your dogs. As it should be, you are widely admired for your dedication as a husband and father. These instincts to nurture and support others have benefited many co-workers here at the county, at the Capitol, and elsewhere, as you have passed on all of your knowledge and mentoring. That's another thing. You are so generous with your time, and genuinely interested in making the world a better place. You will be missed, Nick. Your welcoming smile, your thoughtful approach to tough situations, your skill in being nimble and moving Ramsey County forward on our initiatives, special elements that have carried you every day in your work here. We wish you all the best. We're going to miss you, but we know you're going to appreciate and enjoy your retirement. But thank you so much for all of your work.
Thank you.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much. I shouldn't have written so much, I guess. It's a good thing there wasn't anybody at the public
Mary
hearing.
Jo told me she had to get rid of about 5 pages.
I'll be very quick, but I really want to say there's never been a time that I haven't been proud to serve Ramsey County. I'm going to really miss everybody here. That's great. I'll introduce you to my family, and this is why I had to work so long.
That's a pretty good reason, Nick.
Yeah.
This is my lovely wife, Jill, Abrielle, Mackenzie, and Logan.
Nick, don't go away. Don't go away, Nick.
This goes all morning.
Now the roast
I think we
starts.
got some other folks that want to say something here. So I think we'll just start with Commissioner Huffman and work our way around.
Thank you, Chair McDonough. Nick, when I first got here, you were great. You helped me, you took me up to the Capitol, and in all the times that we've been in legislators' office, whether they're conservative or liberal, the respect they had for you and the way you related to them is something I'll never forget, and wish you best of luck in retirement.
Thank you, sir.
Victoria.
Well, and I just want to say that, you know, in the 1996 election, there were 5 new commissioners that came in, and I was one of them. I didn't realize you were a newbie at the time, knowing you, of course, from AMC a little bit, being involved in things. But it's just been so fun to watch your family grow, and you and everything that you have done for this county, for the community. Your artwork is absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. And just you put the love into everything that you do, and that's very clear. I also want to thank you really for your instincts when it comes to getting legislation and to talking to people. I think everyone around this table will say that if Nick calls and says, I want you to go and do this, you just do it because you know that it's the right thing to do. I think also, though, one of the really unique talents that you have in dealing with all kinds of elected officials from different levels of government, legislature, obviously, but also municipalities and townships and watershed districts, wherever they are. You really have this great instinct on trying to keep people motivated. So there are times when I know, for me anyhow, that you had to not only get me motivated to make sure I did the right thing at the right time and stayed on task, but there were many times that you also had to calm me down a little bit and say, okay, Victoria, not quite so much. But that's how come we have been successful under your leadership. And so you will be missed, but I assume that you won't be a stranger, and we need to keep knowing what's happening with your family. That's all there is to it, whether you work here or not. You become part of our family as well.
Thank you.
Commissioner Rettman.
Well, I said a few comments to you already, and the only thing that I think when it said it couldn't be done, we got a 15-year extension on the Environmental Response Fund. And we had Republicans and Democrats on the same page going up against those who said, but it's a tax, and it's not a tax. But the return on the investment was exponentially the right thing to return polluted lands back to the tax rolls for jobs, for affordable housing, and to actually make a return to what it was supposed to be about. The Environmental Response Fund was only for Hennepin and Ramsey County. And we got a Hennepin County legislator to put it on, and we won. And we had, Linda Runback in favor of it. And I think that was a crown that we both can share. And so I think it will serve Ramsey County for a long time, and I appreciate your due diligence in all that you did with me. Thank you.
Commissioner Carter.
Thank you. So a lot has been said, and I'll just add my thank you to your family for supporting you, and also to you, Nick, for your many years of support, not only to the entire board, but to me as a commissioner. You have just been a rock-solid supporter, and the opportunities that you've given us to be successful at the state and at the federal level, it goes beyond saying. You have been central to those opportunities. So thank you for everything you've done, whether it's been for transit corridors or economic development generally, even for the opportunity to obtain a federal support for our Juvenile Detention Alternatives Initiative, which we continue to build upon. I also just want to say thank you for the secrets that you've shared, which have been instrumental in helping us win support from time to time. Your deep knowledge and your history of information has really been great for us to have, and it's going to be difficult to know that we've now got to call you up. I guess we've got your cell phone. Get those additional pieces of information that we'll need. But we will call. Thank you so very much. And also, Commissioner Reinhardt mentioned your art. You have added so much spirit to Ramsey County's environment, just with the beauty that you've brought through your creativity. I'll call you up about that too soon. Thank you so very much, Nick.
Commissioner Ortega.
Well, Nick and I go a long way. In the very beginning, it was my first year in office, and I was the chair of the legislative committee, and we just had contract lobbyists. And every time I tried to figure out what I was doing, I didn't get very much help. So it didn't take me long to figure out we needed somebody, our own person in government affairs, and that's when I first met Nick. And at that time, Nick was also living on the west side, so about 2 or 3 blocks from me, and I met his lovely wife at that time. And you've been you've been a mentor to everybody around this dais, but you're also to many folks that have come through the board. And I'm not here with us, I'm not commissioners anymore, have retired, but you've been a great teacher and a great mentor and a great friend. Half the time I go to Nick's office and hang out to find out what's going on and what I should do. He doesn't make rounds in my office at all. I go to his office, shut the door, and we just shoot the breeze, and he tells me what he thinks I should be doing. And I always walk out of there feeling a whole lot more confident, and at least I have a game plan. And like many of us here, you spend a lot of time with all of us at the legislature into the wee mornings, hours of the morning, and it's amazing what you do and the stamina you have. I always kept saying, he must be taking some vitamins or something. So he's up there. He looks good. He looks fresh, and I look all beat up. So my dear friend, thank you so much. Well, more than anything else, thank you for the good friendship we've had over the years, and your honesty, always coming, even when I didn't like hearing it, your honest evaluation of what you think we should be doing. So thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Nick, so many things I could say, but I'm going to talk about 2. I remember, I think this was in '08 when we were trying to get the sales tax exemption for the Green Line, and that meant $35 million to our budget. And it was the last Saturday of session. The Senate Tax Committee was supposed to meet at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, and they rescheduled that meeting every hour on the hour for the next 19 hours, and finally met at 3 a.m. Sunday morning, and we never left, and we got that $35 million exemption. Yeah. And then the one I'll really never forget is a Saturday morning I got a call from you, and again, it was the last Saturday of session, and it was the Senate Transportation Committee this time, and some of our air quote partners were playing some shenanigans with some of our priorities in the final bill there, and you called me up and you said, you better get up here. And so I got up there, and after a bunch of conversations in the hallways with those partners, and testimony had already concluded on the bill, but you had approached Senator Murphy and said, I was on my way up. And he delayed that hearing, that committee, until I got there, and I will never forget walking into that meeting and Murphy going, I see Commissioner McDonough's here. I trust him with my firstborn. He's going to testify on this bill. And you made that happen. And in the end, not only did we prevent the shenanigans, but we actually got more because of the shenanigans. And so I appreciate all those strategy phone calls, many hours on the phone and in person with you about how to either play defense or take advantage of those opportunities. And I want to thank your wife and family, because a job like yours has an impact. 19 hours on a Saturday when they don't get to see you, or miss volleyball practices, or no weekends, no weekend getaways for 5 months, and dinners. And so I want to thank your family for sharing you with us, because it's meant a lot to us, and I know it's meant a lot to you. And all my best to you. And the last thing I'll say, art's been mentioned a couple of times. Every visit to the state fair, I would always go looking for your entry that year, and I didn't see nothing. I would call you up and say, Nick, where's your entry? Come on. So all our best to you and to your family here as you move forward. You've been of huge value to this county, as you can see.
Thank you all again. I really appreciate the nice words.
Do you want to? Jack, you want to get a picture? Nick,
you don't get to leave yet.
Let's get a good photo right here. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we could all go up there and get in the picture.
You see them done the kids' faces and say, yes. It's really cool to see. Wow, Dad's kind of neat. There you go. Nice job.
Thanks. Wow, it's good to be here.
Mr. Chair, if I could just, while they're saying goodbye there for a second, just want to thank, the members of the government relations team for helping with these remarks too. So this was also the work of Claudia and Jennifer.
Great.
They were helpful in giving this historical remarks, so.
Excellent. All right, we have another celebration and proclamation. Commissioner Reinhardt and Sheriff Jack Shearer, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. I am going to today, it is a day of celebration of all the work that's been done, all the wonderful things that have come to Ramsey County as far as the legislative with Nick, with our law enforcement, with Sheriff Jack Sarir, and the change that really has taken place in the sheriff's office. And then, of course, we will also be recognizing Commissioner Rettman. So it's a day of celebrating what we have accomplished, what we have yet to go, and really the legacy of the people that we're celebrating. So I want to, first of all, read the proclamation for you. And that is, whereas on January 10th, 2017, the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners appointed John G. Jack Sarir. I'm not used to calling you John. Okay. As the Ramsey County Sheriff, and whereas as Ramsey County Sheriff, Jack Sarir led Minnesota's first law enforcement agency established in 1849 and second largest sheriff's office in the state of Minnesota, which serves over 540,000 residents. in a metropolitan area of 3.2 million people. And whereas prior to being appointed as sheriff, Jack Sarir served in the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office as chief deputy from 2015 to 2017, under sheriff of the Public Safety Services Division in Arden Hills from 2012 to 2015, inspector in policy development, and the manager of the Water Patrol dive team and the Canine Unit from 2011 to 2012. And whereas before serving in the sheriff's office, Jack Sarir served as a patrol officer in the Stillwater, Egan, and St. Paul police departments, and while at St. Paul, he obtained the rank of commander. And whereas Jack Sarir completed his formal education at Hamline University, his Bachelor of Arts, University of St. Thomas for Education, Master of Arts, and a doctoral degree in Leadership Policy and Administration from the University of St. Thomas, and is also a graduate of the FBI National Academy. And whereas during Sheriff Sarir's tenure, the Sheriff's Office has become a trusted and professional leader in public safety by providing safety through community policing, domestic violence reduction, mental health services improvement, and improving service through the usage of technology. And I really want to, I'm off script here just a little bit, because the work that has been, the challenges that have been overcome under your leadership have been really tremendous as far as moving forward with the Law Enforcement Center and the technology, the community policing.
Thank you.
So it's been tremendous. And whereas Sheriff Sarir has taken the initiative by collaborating with community and justice partners, encouraging diversity to reflect the community, and connecting with youth to build a better future for themselves. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners expresses its gratitude to Sheriff John G. Jack Sarir for his leadership and service to the residents, employees, volunteers, and businesses in Ramsey County. On a personal note, I got to know Jack when you were working for Matt Bostrom, Sheriff Bostrom, and was so impressed with the tenacity, the motivation, the spirit in which you approach this work. The heart of service was not only, they're not only words to you, that's the way you live your life. And the one thing that always amazed me, no matter what was going on, always the smile is there. Always the smile, because you always looked at the, even in very difficult situations, you tried to find the thing that was a positive that you could build on and make things better for the people around you. From the smallest issue that you could, deal with on a child that was in stress or chaos in their lives, and working with them to really big issues. You were always there, and always with that spirit of service to the community.
Thank you.
So I could say a whole lot more. I know that we've got your family here, and we'll bring them up and we'll give people a chance to speak. But before I do that, we have another honor for you. This is the Vision of Peace, and I will read the comments that I need to read. But this is a very special award, and it does say Ramsey County Sheriff Jack Sarir. This is a Vision of Peace. And I will tell you about this. The Vision of Peace recognition is a small-scaled replica of the 36-foot Vision of Peace statue that resides in the City Hall County Courthouse Memorial Hall. This prestigious replica is a numbered, limited edition statue with a tradition of being awarded by the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners to individuals or entities in recognition of distinguished or exemplary leadership, service to Ramsey County. It is considered the highest level of recognition awarded by the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners. Dedicated in 1936, the statue was formally named Vision of Peace in 1994 at a special ceremony with 3 Minnesota Native American tribes. You have earned it.
Thank you.
And we are very pleased and honored to be able to provide that to you, not only the proclamation, but the vision of peace.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I didn't think, I'm very moved, very moved. Thank you. That's very touching, and I'm just awestruck by it, so thank you very much for that, for this. I do appreciate it. And thank you for the proclamation. I forgot half the stuff that was on that page, so it was good that got mentioned. I just want to say thank you to you as a county board, as a great partner, and for your commitment to both as Chair Reinhardt, former Chair Reinhardt, and now Chair McDonough, for all of your support and for all the work we've done together. I came here 8 years ago, and I had no idea I'd be standing here today. And it has been the honor of my life professionally to be the Ramsey County Sheriff. I am honored by all the support that I've had from the people in this room. I look at the Sheriff's Office as a place of service to our community and as a partner to not only our county partners, but also to all the community partners, both public and private, that we have. And I know that today I can say with great confidence that I will be leaving along with my team a sheriff's office that is fully staffed with people of good character, and one that is fiscally soundly managed and is poised to be well equipped to deal with the future of government here locally. I am always most appreciative to my wife, Catherine, who's here in the audience. She has sacrificed much in this life to give me the career that I have had, and I will forever be grateful to her. Like most people getting to my age, my children are not present as they are off doing their own things in life. But I've got two great kids, ones that are better than I deserve, and I'm very grateful to my wife and to the Lord for them. And so with this, I say thank you. Please know that my time serving is not done. I have returned to the St. Paul Police Department here in January, and I will take with me the same values that I brought to this organization. I returned to the St. Paul Police Department to serve not just St. Paul, but I know that it's a larger entity, it's a larger thing that we all serve, and that's our greater community here in Ramsey County, the metro area, and the state beyond, and really the nation, as we look as law enforcement to be leaders in our community and as good partners to others. So I will take this award, the Vision of Peace, and think about it every day as I go forward, because truly I believe that people in law enforcement need to be people of peace first. That is our role as peace officers, as peacemakers in our community, and so I take this with great gratitude. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Oh, stay up there, Captain. I'll start off this time. Jack, I want to thank you for your service to Ramsey County, to all our residents, your partnership with this board, your commitment to our community, your leadership by example, truly understanding the difference between protecting and serving and policing, and really having that understanding of the impact it has on our community if we don't understand that difference, and you understand that difference, and you have led by that example.
Thank you.
Your leadership in our community over your career has continued to grow and blossom, and I'm confident it will continue to grow and blossom in all the opportunities you have before you. And your impact in this county will be remembered, and I want to thank you for that. And you mentioned the impact on family, and I get it. And Catherine, thank you for being willing to share your husband with this county and the residents of Ramsey County. Commissioner Huffman.
Thank you, Chair. Jack, professionally, I think what Jim said is just exactly right. You in an era of where law enforcement is always under scrutiny and always on the defensive, you continued Sheriff Bostrom's mission, and you've made it your mission of just carrying out excellence and values, and that was always evidenced. And personally, you know, when you came and spoke, when Victoria and I held a summit on domestic violence, and you came and spoke to that meant a lot, and it told me who you were as a person, and I'll never forget that. And then lastly, the funnest night of the year is Night to Unite, and that's because the reputation your deputies have, that you had, your staff had, going out and being treated as heroes in all the neighborhoods was just great evidence that you understood what policing was and did a great job of it. So you'll be missed, Kathy. Thank you for, as Jim said, sharing him with us for the last 8 years.
Thank you.
Janice?
Sheriff, I think the one thing that is part of your essence is that you are a man of peace, but you've also chosen the peace profession to be in. And that's a hard road. It's a hard road to go because there will be people that pull you in every direction. And you had enough of your core to say, I am going to stand for what I believe and do what is right.
Thank you.
And that is the best anyone can expect. And that is an honor. That's a badge of honor to always wear.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Carr?
It has been a joy and a pleasure getting to know you over these 8 years, and certainly your work as sheriff. And I really want to say this team, thank you for being a part of our work here in Ramsey County and for the diligence with which you've executed your role as our sheriff. You know, I can think about so many things to thank you for. You know, it's already been mentioned that you've continued the work of character-based hiring and ensured that we have a team of people working in the Ramsey County offices who are increasingly female, increasingly people of color, you know, and just increasingly the kind of people that you can't train. You know, you have to find and develop, but you have to find that character core. And I thank you for your attention to continuing that work. You have certainly taken us through a number of events and created opportunity inside challenge for us. You know, your community policing focus has been really important. And I'm talking about whether it's Falcon Heights or working with Irreducible Grace and young people and incorporating their influence. You know, whether it's just your focus on making certain that our jail is managed in the way that it should be,
Thank you.
staffed in the way that it should be, and that we are increasingly working toward the kinds of attitudes of community service, even within our jail, that we need in order to ensure that people, all of us, are well served within Ramsey County. Now, I want to thank you also for your attention to recognition and appreciation of your staff. You know, as you have regularly invited and engaged us, whether it be in single recognition or in graduation programs, in honor of staff to see their continuing development. I want to thank you for your leadership also on the CJCC.
Thank you.
Our Justice Coordinating Committee, and for being there to represent an eye toward justice systems reform. You know, whether we're talking about people with mental illness or others who need not spend an unnecessary day in incarceration, helping us to envision and to work toward that continual enhancement of our services and of our facilities and of our staffing and of our relationships. Again, it has been a joy and a special opportunity to work with you. Thank you for all that you have done. I look forward to seeing that legacy continue here within Ramsey County. Thanks so
Thank you,
much.
Commissioner. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Commissioner McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jack and Catherine, I feel like I see the both of you together so often. It's so great. We have been so lucky to have you in our county for these last few years. It's been too short. You have brought your entire self to the work that we do, and that is the most amazing thing. You are a person of integrity, vision, principle. You are kind, generous, and I think most people would agree, the nicest guy in the world. You are, and you bring this to everything that you do. You bring it to the community, you bring it to all of us. You've continued the character-based hiring, as we've said, hiring for character, training for competence, and your sheriff's department has really thrived under your leadership.
Thank you.
We are grateful for that, for the work that you've done in not only enforcing the law, but in really bringing early intervention, prevention to the forefront of all the work that you do. Our communities have thrived under your leadership at Little Canada. They love the sheriff's department. They love you. They are so grateful for the service that your sheriffs have provided to them, and your community involvement on all the boards that you serve on, and the one that we serve on together, Northeast Youth and Family Services. You have been just such a crucial part of our community. Just so grateful for all of your work that you've done, and we're glad that you're going to continue to service in St. Paul. We are really going to miss you here, but look forward to continuing to work together. So all the best, and just thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Commissioner. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, quite a bit has been said, so I just want to echo all of that. But you know what's, for me, the one attribute that I really appreciate about you, Jack, is you're really a team player. And so when we sit down and we talk about the issues and the vision of the board and the tasks that come behind making that vision real, you know, it wasn't like you were a separate entity of a separate department, but you were integral to the work that we were trying to do. And you just came in when you became sheriff and sat down and just moved forward. You got it.
Thank you.
You got it, and it made life easier for us, quite frankly. And I personally really appreciate that, and I appreciate everything that's been said, your integrity, but the fact that you were a team player and you were working with us to make good things happen. And that, for me, is the greatest value you've brought to the county. Well, thank you and your wife for all your good service.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That one, that's, I am, here we go. All right, very good. Thank you very much. Very good, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. All right, very good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Huffman, you have the administrative items.
I do indeed. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'd like to move items number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28.
Second.
You skipped one.
I waited for someone to.
So we have a motion and a second on all 28 administrative items. Roll call.
Huffman.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Redmond.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner
Can I
McGuire.
just make a note about an item that we just passed? And I just want to recognize all the work that our staff has done on the Ramsey County State Legislative Platform and the federal platform was items 8 and 9. We passed them, we've had committee hearings about them. We've worked really hard, but our staff has really been working hard on that. And it is, it's Jennifer O'Rourke and Claudia Brewington and Nick Riley that worked so hard with all of our staff on this. Everybody's Irish. So just thank everyone and on the work that we've done on that platform. And so I wanted to recognize that we're finally in passing it today, and it will be open to. We'll be able to add other things as the session goes on, but this is the base of our platform.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for your work. Item 29 from Public Health, adopt the amendments to the Ramsey County Food Protection Ordinance. Accept the proposed amendments to our food protection ordinance. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Huffman.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Redmond.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. Item 30 is from Public Health, adopt amendments to the Ramsey County Lodging Ordinance. This adopts proposed amendments to our lodging ordinance.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Huffman.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Redmond.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. Item 31 is from Public Health, adopt amendments to the Ramsey County Manufactured Home Parks and Recreational Camping Area Ordinance. This is amendments to that ordinance, and I do want to point out we did get some comments, written comments that were incorporated into the amendments.
So moved.
We got a motion and a second. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call.
Huffman.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega. Reinhardt.
Aye.
Redmond.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. We're going to move into county connections. We'll do our board updates, and then we'll have Commissioner Rettman give her comments. So we'll start with county connections with County Manager Ryan. County Manager Ryan O'Connor.
Yeah, it's a tough
That O'Reilly
one.
thing got me
it's
all
O'Reilly,
screwed
I know,
up.
sorry.
All screwed up.
It'll be like Cher from now on. I'll just be Ryan. That'll work well. Got a little nervous there for a minute. About to find something else out. I want to start with recognition of another individual today. Jim, could I ask you to come up for just a second? I want to give a call out to our outgoing CIO, Chief Information Officer, Jim Hall. Jim can tell you a little bit about what comes next for him in a second, but let me start by just saying Jim has led the work of information services and his team over the last number of years and has positioned the county and all of us who rely on IS, which is, of course, every single one of us, to take us into modernization and innovation well into the future. And some of the key advancements as we were putting together the list, just thinking about that, IT security, consolidation work, data integration, the voice over IP. We now know what VoIP means. Sharewell, which is the ticketing system we use at the point of service, both internally and now with the electronic health record system to ensure that we can do seamless work with those when they call, and our continued work around Laserfiche and document management on the back end. Some of this work is seen by all of us, some of it is not every day, but it works together to make it all happen. Most importantly, Jim, as a leader and as a person, comes to work every day and really brings his whole self. He writes and thinks about leadership a lot. And he's been a collaborative player. When I was the deputy county manager and I was leading the electronic health records team, the largest technology project this county has worked to implement, serves 1/5 of all county residents in some way. Jim was there as the person who we would say, we need to find a solution to X, Y, or Z. And he would always say, yep, let's find a solution to it, as opposed to, let me tell you all the reasons why I don't have the answer right now. And when you're sitting in that leadership spot and looking for collaborative partners, I don't know of a higher compliment than to say he always came back and tried to find a way to say help, and for that I'll remain forever grateful. Jim has agreed to stay on with us until March, so you may see him around as we ensure a smooth transition with our interim CIO, who begins in that role on January 1st. And so, first, Jim, I want to say thanks on behalf of everybody in Ramsey County to you and your leadership and your time here. But I also want to ask if you would like to share any parting thoughts with the board. This is your opportunity to do so.
Jeff?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. It's been a great 3 years. You look across the industry, and CIOs tend to stay in an organization for about 3 years, and I seem to be holding that average. So, I've been, as Ryan commented, I've been a CIO here for 3 years. I've been a campus CIO for 5.5 years before that, and actually in IT leadership throughout pretty much my entire career. And so now I'm looking to change gears a little bit, going from leading IT organizations into advising, coaching, mentoring IT leaders. Haven't defined yet what that's going to look like, but I'm excited to make that transition. And so it would have been great to stay here, but I appreciate the time I've had at Ramsey County. But definitely I'm looking forward to what my next step would be. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Commissioner Ratman?
I really want to express my personal thanks to you on the audit committee.
Yep, thank you.
I think that you never dodged one of my questions at all. And in fact, you seem to thrive on it. And the Prairie Home Companion, you're way above average, way above average, because you really know your stuff and your integrity seems impeccable. So keep it that way.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Commissioner Reinhardt?
Well, and what I really appreciate is your patience. I finally got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not even going to apologize. I'll send something to you and say, can I open this? And sometimes it was yes, more than not, it was no, please don't, which is what I thought. But at the same time, I thought, okay, here's the person that's the head of our department, and I'm saying, can I open this email? And you were always very patient and explained things as they were going on. And in this world of ever-changing technology, that's no easy task, and you did it with aplomb.
Commissioner Huffman?
Thank you, Chair. What Commissioner Rettman said is right on. When on the audit committee, when you came in and helped us understand we had some weaknesses and patiently kind of drew a map for us on how to solve those issues, you were the right guy at the right time, and real appreciative of all that work and leadership.
Thank you.
Commissioner Carter?
Jim, I too want to say thank you very much. In my past world of work, we used to say, he who owns the data is king. But you got to make really sure that you own it, that it's yours, that it's secure. I used to be a systems person. I am not now, at least not in terms of technology. But I really appreciate the help that I've received in understanding how to manage to issues on the platforms that we have here at Ramsey County. And I'm so impressed that today, when I send that note, because I never open that stuff, but when I send that note, I get back a response, and it lets me know, that we either know about this or we don't. Here is what we're doing. We've notified the vendor of this issue, and it just really helps me to know that our staff is focused and attentive and making certain that we will have security here at Ramsey County. I want to thank you for the role that you've played, for your leadership, and for the greater sense of comfort that we are evolving toward here at Ramsey County. Thank you very much.
Commissioner McGuire?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We all know that with technology and data that we all want it to be all-inclusive, faster, just that it works better, and we want it done yesterday. You know, we want it done now. And I just appreciate that you brought us through these years of really advancement in this area. And I'm really excited about how you've positioned us to move forward in even greater ways with our information. So thank you so much for that.
Commissioner Ortega.
Well, I really appreciate the time you took in the office with me. We've had long meetings, and I would ask for explanations. I still didn't understand half of what you told me. But you really, I really felt was, you know, you get that intuition, that confidence, and but I really appreciate you taking the time to explain things. It must have been a tedious task. Maybe my colleagues are better skilled than I am in this area, but you were really good, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Jim, thank you for your service, and all my best to you.
Thank you.
All my best.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll just point out that direct all technology questions to Jim Hall until January 1st. I will not be serving in that capacity in the meantime. Two other updates for you. I wanted to let the board know and everybody else watching that Boys Totem Town officially passed its Prison Rape Elimination Act inspection with flying colors. PREA is how it's termed at the federal level. There were 0 corrective actions. The federal inspector had many good things to say about our facility and the way our staff and programming are working with young people from this community. The audit report has been posted to our county website, and it is available as well for those that would like to see it under the public safety tab of our work. Special recognition, I want to call it just a couple people. Michelle Finstad, Superintendent Keith Lattimore, Training Coordinator Carol Christopher, PO Dan Frank, Women's Unit Manager Jamie Brish, PREA Coordinator Mark Peterson, and of course everybody else that works at Boys Totem Town every day that really came through in a big way when the investigator was on site. So thanks to everybody in community corrections. And this is our third and final facility which has now successfully passed the PREA inspection as required by federal law, which means we are now fully rated as PREA compliant. This effort started 4 years ago. That took an investment from this board, and a congratulations to the entire organization. Finally, I want to end this board meeting of the year with a recognition of a residents first lens. I received an email yesterday that I just wanted to share with you. It deals with Ramsey County Public Health, but I think it speaks to a lot of the way that we see service happen across this organization. The individual wrote, "I would like to thank Ramsey County Public Health for going above and beyond in creating Clinic 555. The inclusivity I felt when visiting really meant a lot to me, and as a St. Paul loyalist, made me doubly glad that I live in a city in which I was lucky enough to be born. To know that I live in a county that cares about the well-being of all, in capital, residents, was profound for me to learn and experience firsthand. I was initially very nervous, but was put at ease with each person I dealt with, and I felt like I was visiting a people-centered clinic, not a ship them in, roll them out scenario. Every person I dealt with was kind and professional, right down to the receptionist who greeted me. I was previously overwhelmed when researching my sexual health options, but was looking at a city pages a few days ago and saw a little ad on the back page. I called yesterday for an appointment and was seen today. Even better, you're located across the street from a place where I frequent. Reading more into your mission and values made me happy that your doors are open to everyone, Ramsey County resident or not. Great work. You are so very appreciated. People are always quick to complain. I felt obligated to sing some well-deserved praises. Thank you so much for everything." I will let those words from a resident stand as the type of thing that we want to continue to see. That made my day yesterday. I hope it makes yours to hear it today. A shout out to Ramsey County Public Health for being the standard bearer at that time, but in a one mission, one vision, one door county, we know similar things are happening in a lot of places, and my shout out goes to everybody in this organization who on a daily basis contributes to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Commissioner Huffman, outside board and committee report.
Well, I'm just going to give a quick comment just at the end of the year here. It's our last meeting of this year. Just want to say thank you to my colleagues, and even more so to all the staff that made 2018 just a fabulous year for me and what we've done here at the county. So happy New Year's and happy holidays and New Year's to everyone.
Thank you. Commissioner Ortega?
Ditto.
Commissioner McGuire, can you do it?
Oh, wow.
Can you do it?
Oh,
Ditto.
no, I can't do this. I can do that one then, and then. Yes, I can wish everyone a happy holiday, and thank you for everything, and, Mr. Chair, I have a lot of great, there was a lot of great work done this past week by a lot of our staff, and I'm going to recognize that. I'm going to just start out that I was at the library board meeting, and, couldn't be more proud of our libraries. That continue to be great resources for our community, our library director Jill, and we just have great work being done. I want to recognize that we had a retiring member of our library board, Paula Milkey. We recognized her, and then we heard from the Children's Services librarian, and it was amazing. So go on the library website and just see all the good work that our libraries are doing as resources for our community. And in talking about the library, I'll just mention that the four of us did library interviews yesterday morning. Those of us that represent the suburban part, Commissioner Huffman, Reinhardt, and Rettman and I, and we are so lucky in this county to have such amazing people that want to be on our library board. And so it was a tough decision, but we made a selection of a candidate. We'll be announcing that at our next meeting. Next was we had an early childhood advisory group meeting. This is the Pritzker 0 to 3 meeting that we had. It was our stakeholder community update meeting where we informed the community on where we're at with that. And I want to give a shout out to our staff, Marcy, Nancy Hall, Max, and Ashley. They've been working so hard, and also, of course, Elizabeth Dolzman for all of their work in really helping us move this initiative forward. Just to remind people, the work of the Pritzker Children's Initiative is to really ensure that children in Ramsey County are going to be born healthy, that families will be supported in their child rearing, and children will have access to and participate in high quality care and learning environment, regardless of race, ethnicity, geography, or income. That's the goal of the Pritzker work, and the meeting was just to share the outcomes that we're working toward and to share a progress update. And the community was well attended by the entire Ramsey County community, with our people that are working in early childhood